Welcome. I'm your host, Joseph Israel. Thank you. Today we will be having a teaching dealing with human evolution. We're going to get into a couple of topics of why I differ from the other, how can I say, scientists or the science that they call science. And with no further ado, let's get to it and get off in it. We're going to talk about the conception of human evolution. So, this is their understanding of human evolution. The humans evolved physically. And not only that, they were also related to apes, as they say. So let's read the writing in red and see what their hypothesis is. Human evolution is the lengthy process by which humans, Homo sapiens, develop ape-like ancestors over approximately 6 million years. Wow. So if human evolution is starting from ape-like, then why do we have a more sophisticated mind than them of knowing how to build as well as destroy, but build? And we have different wisdoms on how we build. Not saying animals can't build, but it's different when you're dealing with humans. I mean, animals can't make electricity. Animals never thought of making phones. And this is why we're going to get to the topic, to the next slide on the screen. And that will be, how did humans evolve? Did we evolve from some ape-like species? Or did we evolve mentally? Through what? Some would say knowledge. And that would be my hypothesis, that humans evolved mentally, not physically, not through ape-like ancestors. If you think about it, and I'm going to give you this example. It's just like a woman having or giving birth. That child didn't come out from an ape-like species. So we're going to get a little bit more understanding of my conclusion. Evolution is understanding of knowledge. What understanding of knowledge? Knowledge that man found himself. If you can look at the bottom screen on my left-hand corner, you will see a family surrounded by fire. For what? What's that fire for? Warmth. What's that fire for? Light. What's that fire for? To cook. And if you look, you'll see the light bulb. If you look above that, you will see a house. All the amenities that men needed to evolve from being outside in caves to using clubs, and it's a silly notion that club a woman over the head. No, they had these clubs. If you look at the caveman with the club in his hand, you'll see that was a weapon against the creatures, because each year man had to grow, to adapt to his surroundings or environment. If you look under where the house is, you see guns. We evolved from guns, we evolved from clubs to guns. And if you want to take a little quick brief history, I'll just name out a few more weapons. We went from a club to a spear to a bow to etc. to what we have now, to guns. If you look closely in the background, where the camel is, where the family is surrounded by the fire, you'll notice you have camels, and you'll notice that you have a man with a beard. That man with a beard created something that you would call a razor, clippers, scissors, all the groomings to make a man look more sophisticated. See, I'm just giving you out some things that'll show you how man truly evolved, and that's evolution, is understanding of knowledge. And what's the knowledge? It's a whole lot different from how our knowledge is. Our knowledge has evolved. Oh, our knowledge has evolved. How was that? It has evolved because we have become benefactors of the invention of men. And now that we're the benefactors of that, take a look around and tell me, how do people use these inventions? See, and it all began with thought, with the thought, the conception of evolution that made man what he is today. Like I said, we are benefactors of this. How do we choose to use the inventions the forefathers have created through thought? Everything is through thought. Back then, weapons were made to protect you from the creation against lions, bears, tigers. Oh my. And now, us being the sole heirs of these thoughts that concepted these things, we use them foolishly. What we do, we don't use guns to protect ourselves, at least for some. Most of us use these guns for destruction. That thought is a conception that evolved the understanding of men and their knowledge. Okay, and another example. Phones, social media. We take social media And what we do with it, we use it to destroy each other, or we use it to deceive each other. See, these are the things that devolve the mind of people who live in comfort that are now spoiled. In the mind, the thought of conception is spoiled. When you look at the camel, just think camel to horses to etc. elephants, to cars, gas cars, steam cars, to now electric cars. Man, telling you, man, like even the attire we wear, from the time you had to wear animal hide, now cotton, silk, leather, all these other different fabrics and materials, all from the thought of the mind. Understanding air, understanding water, all from the thought of men. And we also have become lost with the amenities of the home, which spoils us, because it's no longer thinking forward or setting new futures and foundations. Now we just become victims of inventions, all through the mind, which is the evolution of man, which is what's in the Bible. With all understanding, get wisdom. For wisdom is better than choice gold. And our wisdom has left us because we chose that choice gold, which is the wisdom of the world. Victims of the inventions of man. Technology, wow. We take all these things for granted. Look at how we really devolved as humans. Every time we hear about murder, every time we hear about scandals in this social media thing, and it's funny how we're somehow hypnotized by confusion and conflict on this social media. No elevation of mind, just entertainment. We have become trapped in this dream state through inventions. The mind no longer seeks knowledge or truth, but rather deception, lies, and entertainment. These are the things that the mind runs off today because of the inventions of men. We all become the victims of that. And we can touch on another note. We can also touch on politics, another invention of men, which now leaves many homeless, many wondering, many violence, many rights and privacy of people now open to the world. And we all make each other content on this social media, which now the mind has become entertained through gossip by way of deception, lies, and confusion. No longer seeking truth of who's telling the truth or who's there for entertainment. Now the lines have been blurred between truth and lies. And this social media reflects the thought of men, the conception of it. We all live blindly. And it's sad it has come to this, that we live like this, becoming victims of the same thing that entertain us. No longer seeking to elevate the mind, because as generation grows, so should knowledge. Knowledge hasn't grown in neither situation in the things that we value. We value our time now in confusion and nonsense. Everybody has become a victim of the things they enjoyed. Now, the bliss of ignorance, like I said before, has become the cage or your own prison. Thanks to the limited knowledge and understanding of this world, now the only thing we understand is technology. Not to elevate it or to evolve, but to find ourselves lost in it. And through politics, creating new rules on speech. So far, freedom of speech is dead. You can't say dead, now you got to say unalive. I say dead, died, and whatever. Because I'm a slave to Christ. I'm not a slave to man. That's what these people don't tell you in the history books. We are slaves of Christ, not slaves of man, giving us the freedom to roam anywhere we please in this world. But our mind don't elevate to that. Our mind steady elevates to what? Nonsense, gossip, trash. It's good to know things because now you know the elevated state of people's mind. We live in this dream state by way of social media. When I was young, we had to go through atlas and encyclopedias and stuff. Nowadays, kids got it easy. And that's the problem. Everything is easy now. Nobody really works. But nobody minds elevates either. That's a problem. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the teaching. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you gain more than that newfound knowledge to lead us into the future than to stay stuck and the deception, the gossip, the lies to add confusion to the minds of people. Because nowadays, you don't even know what's real or what's fake on this social media. Because everybody loves to run a play. And from where I'm looking at, you know, that's when your mind need to be more on guard, more discerning of things that you look at. When you look at it, don't just look at it as entertainment. Look at it and observe. Is this shit real? Just a play niggas doing. And with that said, this is your Messiah, the real father that started this spirituality movement in 2023 that they'll never give a credit due to, because it shows me the vanity of man. And instead of being honest, when knowledge come out, a lot of deny where the knowledge came from, just to sit in that same category as the person they learned it from. And it's crazy. But in actuality, it's not crazy. It's showing you how more vile and deceptive man has become, instead of being more intelligent. See, there's a lot of people I can call out, but I just rather sit back and keep recording the bullshit they put out. So when I put out this next teaching, if I see them trying to steal my likeness, you ain't got to get my image, but if you steal my likeness, I got you, homie. So with that said, I hope this teaching was edifying. I hope we all can wake up and step back into reality and get up out of the nonsense that keeps that stays a stumbling block from that thought. Thought, man, it is crazy. Can you just imagine? Thought is what destroys or kills. That's why the power of life and death is in the tongue, because that thought speaks into reality, the actions that you ripple in this world. So with that said, man, this